Okay, hello everyone, this is Mr. Roland here again, and I know I sound a little bit, crap today, but just ignore that for now. In this video we're going to be talking about Conan the Barbarian's buttons and strings. Fresh off the press from NetherRealm Studios, we have this amazing new DLC character. And his buttons and strings, I think, are what make him really cool and unique, surprisingly. But to an untrained eye, or without a little bit of experience, it can be kind of hard to tell what strings exactly he's doing, because everything is kind of just swinging swords in different ways, which kind of looks the same unless you've practiced quite a lot with him. So we're going to talk about all of his buttons, because he's got really cool ones. So let's get straight into it. I'll turn the opponent onto auto, and let's start off with standing 1. So his main string here is 1-1-2, and this is your general poke string. It's very fast, but what's amazing about this is that it's a 7-frame poke, just like, you're down 1 or whatever, but look at how far this thing goes. I think it has to be up there in the runnings for the best pokes in the game. Like standing at this distance with Reiko's standing poke is not going to hit from this distance. I think barely any character in the game, even Melina's poke, is not going to hit from this distance, so it is such an amazing button that you can throw out, and luckily he doesn't have any forward button, so you can kind of be holding forward and inch your way forward with this button, and having just a simple 1-1 that has enough hit stun to confirm into almost any Kameo extender or whatever you like is really, really strong. It's just a really great button, and having that amazing range on it makes it definitely one of the best pokes in the game. So, love this button. It's amazing. Unfortunately, only the second hit is cancelable, and the third hit you have to use some kind of special ambush extension to get anything off of it. Next we have back 1, which is one of our long-reaching buttons, 11 frames, and reaches about 2 character distances. It just hits you at the hilt of his sword, and it leads into this one, back 1-2, which is a really great string. This is one of your best strings with Conan, because it is your most damaging string. A long-reaching high into a bunch of mids, and then an overhead. This is really, really good. This back 1-2, 96 damage, is the most damaging simple string, so you'll see people using this a lot in their combos to get simple extensions that do almost up to 300 just from 2 strings connecting together. So it's a very, very damaging string. If you're ever trying to build your own combo, buttons into Serena, into buttons, this is the combo string you want to do for it. Even just this super unoptimal combo did almost 300 damage just from doing nothing. Very, very strong move. And the frame data is totally cool on it as well. Good for staggering, -3 off of these hits. So instead of going for the overhead, you can maybe go for a down 3 low poke. And the overhead is also totally safe at -6, so a really great string again. Next we're going to go into 2-2, and 2-2 goes into this grab. It's a pretty cool string, and I want to talk about all of the grab strings at once now, because they're all quite similar, to be honest. So basically all of your buttons go from button to grab. So 2 goes 2-2 grab. You can also do 4-2 grab, and 3-2 grab, and they have almost the same effect, all of them. They're all a 2-hitting string into some kind of hit grab situation. They all leave you on the same side and do kind of similar damage, but they have slightly different properties. For example, 2-2 grab is actually a throw. The opponent will have to duck under that to escape it. Same as 4-2 grab, once again, a throw. And 3-2 grab is actually an overhead that just makes it on hit look like a throw. And this overhead is actually really strong, because not only is it, overhead mix, it's +4 on hit, which very advantageous, especially when your character has really good long-reaching mids, and just long-reaching buttons in general, like this quick high poke we've been talking about. So these strings are really, really good for mix, and in 3-2's case, very good for pressure as well, but they all kind of act as a similar function. It's a decently long-reaching high button, 4, 3, 4, and 2, they're really kind of quite similar buttons with almost the same hitbox on all of them, but they just lead into slightly different types of throws. Now, getting back to 2-2 specifically, what's special about this is if the opponent happens to be in the air, let me just sector him into the air. If you hit the opponent with this, that's your restand. So not only are you just using it for the grab, which you can use to end combos if you like, but there's definitely better ways to end your combos. Having that restand is really cool. Either on your own, you can just go with restand and then go into at the end of a super long combo, You can go into some mix, like go for strike or throw. Ooh, I went for throw. It like really negates the opponent's ability to go for any like kind of wake up or delayed wake up, or like wake up armor. All that kind of stuff is like completely negated. Or if you're using a Kameo that likes the opponent to be grounded, like say Serena, then having the opponent restood after a really long combo means that you can go for whatever extension you like to do, and then into your Serena, and just keep extending to more restands, and it's just really, really strong. Having a string that restands the opponent is super powerful, so 2-2, it's a very privileged string for Conan to have. Now, that we've gone 2-2, let's go into, I think 4-2 is the next progression. So this is another up there with the top 3 key normals of Conan's. It's a really long reaching mid, even further reaching than the back one. 14 frames is extremely fast for such a far reaching button. It is really amazing, and the string that follows is no different. It's a 3 hitting mid string. So if you go forward 2-1-1, you have this amazing 3 hitting string, which means all these mids in a row are super easy to hit confirm. The hit stun is not so great, so some things that are a little slow, like Sector here, will not connect. But being able to go into, certain Kameo extensions with ambushes or whatever from your own special moves, it is just so strong. And the final button of it, for 2-1-1-4, the 4, which is that last little kick, is advantageous on block, +2 and right in the opponent's face, which means you can beat them in the down 1 war, and if you want to be risky, you can try going for some of your mids, but I would just try and win the down 1 or down 4 war. So very strong. The opponent can duck that final hit though, because it is a high, but that just leads to innate mix. Like I can go for simple stuff like this, where I go into some kind of safe Kameo move, and that'll hit the opponent trying to duck under it. It's just really good having this this string is so good in so many ways. Extremely long reaching, extremely fast for what it is, 3 hitting, so extremely easy to hit confirm, and leads into mix-up / pressure kind of situations where you're either plus on block, or the opponent dodges the plus on block, or you catches the opponent trying to dodge the plusness of blockness. It's really good. Then back 2 is another very unique normal. It looks like his uppercut, but his uppercut is this, and it's honestly not that great other than the fact it's 9 frames. So this back 2 is a mid with weird properties. So if you just tap back 2, you don't really get much, it can't be cancelled, but you can kind of connect like a 1-1 combo extender off of that if you want. Like a simple combo. Something like that, just to get a little bit of damage. But if you're ever in a situation where you can hold it down, perhaps you've got like a bit of a stun from one of your Kameos or hitting some kind of ambush, then you get a slightly more charged version of it, where you are able to jump cancel it and go into some kind of jump cancel combo. And you really don't have to hold it long. Just as long as you can hold it a teeny bit longer than just tapping, you'll get this jump cancel, which is really, really strong, and a lot of ambush combos will let you go for this. Or also any stun like Sub-Zero's freeze or whatever. But if you have something like a Sub-Zero freeze, then you can fully hold the whole button, and then it goes into this Omega launch, which can also be jump cancelled, but you don't really want to jump cancel it instantly, or otherwise you're kind of just going to be underneath the opponent. So I just wait a little bit, and then go for my jump, and then go for something like this. Whoops. And then go for the same combo we've been going for before. But a really huge launch that, that one button into the extension off of it did 35%. So can you imagine if you did a combo into a Sub-Zero freeze and then add that to the end? It's a really damaging way of extending your combos. Super, super cool. And also, as an extra treat, and I think we need to make the opponent completely block this, when you charge it up, it becomes quite advantage on block, +9. And if you're in the corner or something, they won't be pushed so far back, so it'll be more of a real +9. But even at +9, with our really long reaching mid, there's not really much the opponent can do except for maybe try to run away. But even that, you'll catch them if you're near the corner. The regular version, I believe, is also safe. Yeah, decently safe. -7 at a knockdown 1 range should be fine. Then, we said down 2, it's kind of average. Down 1 was also average. Then let's go into 3. So we've talked about 3. It's part of the button to grab series. Very nice overhead. but the string itself is nothing too special. Back 3 is a little bit more interesting. It's quite similar to our back 2. It's a mid that can be charged by holding down the button. Regularly, it's just like a 17 frame mid that is 0 on block, so quite interesting, especially considering the fact that it can be cancelled into Kameo buttons, so there's a little bit of innate mix there. But you can also hold down the button and dash cancel it. So I can be holding this down, maybe I've gone for a restand or something like this, and instead of going for this mid, the opponent like sees that I'm going for the knee, but I actually dash cancel and go for a throw. Maybe I get a throw combo depending on what Kameo I have. That could be a decent mix. Or you can just keep holding down the thing for really quite a while that I might have to make him block again. And if you fully charge it, does take quite a while. It also becomes very advantageous on block, +8, and leaves you a decent bit closer than the other plus normal. So then here you can maybe squeeze in something else a little bit better, like a down 4. Maybe try going for your forward 1 or whatever. You just have a little bit of better opportunity for going for mix here. So very, very cool, and it's good that it has this ability to cancel into your throw or cancel into a backdash or whatever. Like you can be going this and go into some kind of, if your Kameo has a mix, like an overhead or a low or whatever, there's potential there as well. The same thing does kind of happen with back 2, but it can only cancel into a throw. Like I was mashing the button there, it cancels so late, so it's really not as much of a interesting mix. Like it takes over 50 frames, it feels like, to go into a throw, whereas this one you can go, cancel into a dash and throw a lot faster. So that's very cool. Back 3, quite a unique button. Then we're going on to forward 3, which is, I wouldn't say a unique button, but it's very useful and has a surprising bunch of uses. So this is going to be one of your key combo moves. Firstly, it leads into forward 3-3-4, which is your main launcher. It's the only, really one of Conan's main ways of actually starting combos. None of his special moves really put the opponent into the air or start combos very well. Even this move requires 2 bars to extend into combos. So having this string that just meterlessly goes into aerial attacks, into his juggles, is very, very useful for him. And it can extend combos not only in that way, but also in the fact that it can actually go into some of his cancels, which we won't get too into depth with, but basically this running man stance, when you're holding down the button, can be cancelled, and when you use it off of this, you can link into things, like 1-1, or if you're fast enough, even back 1. For quite damaging extensions, depending on what combo and Kameo you use. So a very, very good string, very, very good combo fodder. If you can ever get some kind of link into this extension, then this is just great meterless way to add a bunch of damage wherever you can get it. And then having this way to go for cancels, either like at the end of combos, to like keep your restands going, or just to get a lot of, grounded hits in, depending on what Kameo you're using, that can lead to a lot of damage. And down 3 is, an incredibly kind of average down 3. No ridiculous range, but it's 9 frames and it's only -8, so in terms of negativeness, not so bad. If you want to go for a low. If we're on the teams of down buttons, down 4 is really quite similar. It has better range, of course, but it's also really quite slow for down 4, 12 frames. It's almost the same speed as you going for your mid, and your sleep's really slow, whoops. So I think down 3 is the preferable low here if you're trying to mix up the opponent, even though it doesn't do much damage. Alright, and then into 4, of course, we've got the 4-2 grab, just like the other button 2 grab series. This one's pretty normal though, it goes into an actual tick throw, but it's pretty hard to extend off of that throw, especially even if you use a Kameo, you don't get damage until the opponent hits the floor, and then you can't extend off of that, so it's not so great in that way. And the string itself, nothing particularly interesting there. So then all we have left is the back 4, his sweep, which I thought was okay, but 17 frames is even slower than down 4, so really not amazing. It has some decent range, surprising range, but it's nothing I would use too much. Of course, it's very safe, but yeah, it's a button, it's decent. And this is a character that I cannot forget to mention jumping normals, because he's got some pretty unique ones. Of course, he's got the standard 1-2-3 jumping attack string that leads to just like a juggle, where you can either, go into some regular grounded extension like this, but he's got some unique stuff. Mainly just in the jump 4. Everything else is kind of normal. Let's talk about the normal ones first. So 2-2-2, just a pretty plain aerial string. I don't think anyone is really ever going to use that, to be honest. And jump 3 is, I mean, it's also really quite unique, but compared to jump 4, it just doesn't really hold as much cool factor. I will say, as a neutral jump button, it reaches very far. It's almost like an Injustice 2 Catwoman. He really pokes you from a distance with that sword, so I imagine this could actually end up being a very meta button. But for now, people are just very excited by this jumping 4, which you can hit really high. You can whatever, it's an overhead and it leads to an amazing bounce. Usually jump kicks can be a little bit difficult for certain characters to extend off of. Conan, not so much, but especially with this bouncing button, you can lead to basically any string you want, whether it's your mid, this multi-hitting high string, into just easy extensions and juggle, which is pretty rare off of most characters in mid-screen jump kicks. And unlike a lot of characters, you don't even have to be from like, you know, a deep jump in or anything. It can literally be like from a really high, like neutral jump, or like kind of awkward cross up or something, or a far away jump that you don't, it's like, I did that so early that wasn't even an overhead and I can still super easily get combos from it. Really great button. Can be used in combos, but it's just great that the fact when you use it as a jump in, you really easily get combos. And then just the universal stuff, his throw is actually slightly unique in that it does more damage than the average throw. Throws in this game do like 110 damage, but his does like 112 thanks to that little bit of bleed at the end. So, well, lucky Conan getting a tiny bit of extra damage from his throw. Don't mind that at all. And for Fatal Blow, he also was pretty privileged in having quite a large one. Oh, thank you to my PC for almost crashing right now. Whoops. So in all honesty, pretty similar to Rain's Fatal Blow, like slightly above average distance and a good vertical hitbox, so you can catch people, you know, in the air doing jumps or special moves or anything that you might struggle to react to in that slightly close distance. The armor will help you just completely barge through it. So a pretty good Fatal Blow, and fast to boot. Fast, not like katanas. And yeah, that's basically Conan. To sum up what you should really be thinking about if this was a little overwhelming for you, really make sure you use this 1-1. Having this super long-reaching 7-framer means that like anytime in neutral, like no other character can just like dash in and do like a 7-frame from this distance. So anytime you're around this distance, you're like, oh, I know that I can basically beat anything my opponent will do with this string, and then go into some kind of extension or combo, whatever, or just pressure with it. It's really good. Then of course we have this really long-reaching mid, which is 14 frames, and this long-reaching into a triple hitting string is easy to hit confirm, is just so strong, so powerful. You really have to make sure you abuse this privilege that the character is giving you. And, like, it's so far-reaching, so safe, even leads to this like plus on block mix-up pressure kind of situation. Is really good. Honestly, those are kind of the two main buttons you need to use, and then when you're going for combos, you want to just do back 1-2 as many times as you can, and launch with forward 3-3-4 into like this kind of sequence, and honestly, just with that, you'll be good. That's Conan, and that's his buttons. He's pretty good at them, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!